Woo! What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. Thanks for tuning in. And it is what we would normally call Victory Monday. It's Victory Tuesday. And we have won 3 games straight. 3 games? People, are you feeling this, huh? Come on. You got DeVito. Yep, everybody's doing it, right? Everybody's doing it. It feels good to win games. Giants beat the Packers at home last night, 22-24. I found it a pretty exciting game to watch. There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of overcoming mistakes, a lot of things to dig into. We're going to kind of take it in a unique way. Show today's going to be a little different. I'm going to take all your questions from the chat room today and roll with whatever topics you guys want to roll. I'm going to bring the guys in. Of course, you know, if you get a chance, make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. I know we haven't been pushing that lately, but get out to the YouTube channel. You're going to find all our interviews there. What does Rush do best? We interview your favorite players, whether it's, let's say, I don't know, Kurt Warner or Matthias Kiwanuka or Dane Belton. Maybe it's Daniel Bellinger. Maybe it's our boy McFadden, who stopped in last week to hang out with us and really rolled out what's happening this season and in the Giants locker room. And of course, the rallying of Tommy Cutlets. Lots to talk about. Let's dig into it. I see you guys piling in the room. Thanks for hanging out. Let's get you guys going. Let's bring in Truth.
Riding the DeVito train, right?
I know, man. We're all going to ride the DeVito train because it's fun, right, Mike? It's fun.
Oh, it's so nice to win. It's so nice to win.
And the way they're doing it is, Mike, is you're seeing guys like Wan'Dale stepping up, right? You're seeing a guy like Ojulari, who's been non-existent all year, making plays. So a lot of fun. Let's bring in Spartan Mike. Let's get his feeling. I know he's all jacked up. Mike.
What's going on, guys? Mike and Craig, what's going on? You got to be feeling this. It's 2 Italian Americans.
Right now. You bet. I do it now everywhere I go. I go to the Wawa. I'm like, hey. And then I go to get gas, and the guy doesn't give me a receipt. I'm like, hey. Yeah. I'm doing it everywhere I go.
I got to tell you this real quick, boys, because it's not, this isn't a thing out here. There's not really a lot of Giants fans, but wearing my Giants gear today, the biggest Giants fans in the world are Bears fans after your team takes care of business against the Packers. They hate the Packers so much. I had so many Bears fans come up to me today like, dude, your Giants took care of business. I love that, man. Great game by Tommy DeVito. And I'm like, I didn't expect this today, but I'll roll with it.
Yeah. There's a lot of unique things rolling in right now. Like Eagles are on a little bit of a spin, right? They're looking like kind of human, right?
Yeah.
We got some teams that are just rocketing through the league. Like the Cowboys are just kicking ass and taking names. You got all sorts of drama around the league, right? You got Patrick Mahomes crying like a big wuss about how why did they call that? Well, it's because it's a penalty.
That was bad on his part.
Yeah.
I actually missed it. I saw where he was snapping at the ref, but when he dapped up Allen at the end, was he pissed about the holding call, or was he pissed with Mr. Tony?
It depends on how you look at it. He's mad because the offsides in his mind didn't matter. It didn't deem it worthy to call it that play in the game, right?
Isn't it kind of funny that it was all Kadarius Toney's fault?
Yes, it is. It's very funny. It's very, very funny. But all right, let's stay on track, boys. We have a win. which was built off another win, which was built off another win.
Yep.
Okay. They're scoring points. The Packers had just won 3 games, beating some good competition. Yesterday's a good win. Spartan. What's your overall feeling about the team today than it was, let's say, 2 weeks ago?
Well, I'll take it back a step. I'll go 3 weeks ago. Like after that Cowboys loss, what I assumed the rest of the season would look like is similar to how the 2021 season ended. Craig, if you remember, you don't miss Giants games very often. You missed the Commanders game that year because the Giants were just too bad. They're down to their string quarterback, right? And so this brings back whoever we stuck in at quarterback. I mean, we had Glennon, and then whoever when he
might have been Fromm.
Yeah, that's what it was, Fromm. And the Giants literally were going out there and just, I mean, they couldn't hold weight with the other teams, right? So that's what we expected. All of a sudden, here comes Tommy DeVito. Now he goes out against the Cowboys, has a bad game. It's a tough team. But I tell you what, I mean, I know he's a backup, but the last few weeks, he doesn't look like a backup quarterback. He just kind of looks like a scrappy quarterback that, sure, he's going to lay out 400 yards per game. Well, probably not. But he's playing good football. Like, he's executing his assignments. He's finding open receivers. He's not making dumb decisions. He adjusted the game very fast, which is super impressive. I mean, guys, he already has as many touchdowns this year as Bryce Young. And Bryce Young's played 9 games. This is unprecedented. And of course,
overall pick.
What's that?
And he's also the first overall pick, Bryce Young.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Tommy DeVito was undrafted. So very exciting to see these wins. Everybody who would rather see us tank, get the hell out of here. That is loser mentality right there. Well, the Giants will figure out in the offseason the draft pick. I don't care. Win.
Running with that sentiment, Truth. Let's not kid ourselves. DeVito played at Syracuse and Illinois. It wasn't like this guy came out of nowhere. Right. Okay. Like he won a state championship. He played at Don Bosco, which for anybody that's not local to Jersey, Don Bosco is a powerhouse Group 4 football team who spits out pro football players all the time.
Yeah, Craig,
okay?
If they played one of the crappier D3 schools, they'd probably win. That's how good Bosco is.
Yeah. And this kid went to Syracuse. He played in Illinois. And again, like, he's definitely a kid who punches above his weight. We get it, right? And he's playing with house money. I'm quoting Tommy, our boy Tommy, today because he had used that word. It's a great word. He's playing with house money. He's got nothing to lose.
That's right.
But Truth, what I want to ask you is if you feel the same way. Earlier in the season, during training camp, something happened. And we interviewed Micah McFadden last week. And McFadden said, Craig, we saw the energy from Tommy like the day he came to camp. He had energy around him and he fit right in. Do you see that? Do you see DeVito fitting right in? Like it feels like he belongs.
Oh, absolutely, man. Every week you're seeing improvement by him, and he's like a kid playing in the schoolyards right now. He's having fun, and that's how. Even though it's NFL, you should have fun when you're playing. It's what gets you, excited. It's what gets you're motivated to play football. I'll tell you, he's getting better every week, and I'm happy for the kid. I really am.
Yeah, it's easy to root for, and don't get me wrong. We've gotten a lot of questions, Twitter, Instagram about the whole family and this and the selling the Cutlet shirts. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're having their fun in the sun, right? I mean, the family, the agent, the brother, the mom.
Yeah. Can we talk about the agent real quick?
Sure.
Like that. I mean, that looked like something out of a sitcom.
I'm sure.
I think that's what he did on purpose. Yeah,
I'm sure they're playing it up a little bit. They're grabbing their 15 minutes and they're having some fun. And why not? Right? I mean, the kid literally grew up, a couple miles from the stadium. Everything is just kind of living out a dream. So I think they're playing it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Listen, if you don't know, the DeVito family gave out chicken cutlet sandwiches in the parking lot yesterday prior to the game. So
I love it.
so the kid and his family, it's a great story. I hope he keeps his head screwed on, right? Because he's winning games, he's having fun. And now, Spartan, throwing this one to you. And this is not for me to get under your skin, but you are ready in some form or fashion for a new QB, are you not?
Yeah.
Okay. I always was trying to be pro Jones because I thought he had the tools, right? I thought he had the tools, and I didn't want to start over. But what I will ask you is, whatever the reason is, I'm seeing DeVito looking at, read number 1, read number 2. He's scanning the field, and now he holds the ball a little long, Spartan. But do you see a little something in him that you wish Jones had?
His ability to scan the field is that one trait where I kind of feel like he got it pretty quickly there. That is the one knock that I feel like, Jones has against him. Now, I will say this. I mean, in years past, when Jones goes down, other quarterbacks would go in and they wouldn't play any better than him, right? They put Fromm in, and then it's a calamity. It goes from all right, we can go 500 to, this is a complete dumpster fire. So now to have the backup in, it's okay, Tommy DeVito's going in there, and he's winning games, and he's putting together formidable drives. Again, not blowing the doors out of off the shed, but you start forgetting that you have a backup quarterback in there when you are kind of succeeding. And yesterday was a good game in his part, by all means. So I think scanning the field is a strong suit that he has. I also feel like he's starting to use his legs to his advantage because people don't anticipate him to run. So it's kind of like that setup that Jones had last year a little bit, where people didn't anticipate him to run, and he would get a little bit of room there. But no, by all intents and purposes, his motions look good, his body work looks good. And I'm just going to sit here and blame Truth for not bringing him up on the podcast last year. This was his job. We did not have Tommy DeVito anywhere on our
No, not at all. Not at all.
Man.
But can I piggyback on what Spartan just said, Craig?
Sure. Yeah, sure, of course.
He made good points, 2 of them. One where he's making good decisions, and he's reading, like you said, Spartan. He's making good decisions, and he's got very good pocket presence now. You can see that 2-3 weeks ago, he'd have been sacked a few times last night. But he felt the pressure. He got out of there, and look what he did. He ran for 71 yards when he had to. There weren't many. I think they may have had 1 or 2 design plays for him to run. But other than that, those yards came out of feeling the pressure and getting out of there. And that's what you want to see from a young quarterback. He's getting better every week, and that's why the Giants have a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah. Kafka was killing me on some of those play calls in the first quarter. It was hey, we're a 3-win team, 4-win team. Open it up. Let's go. It's sometimes I can't figure out why Kafka's so slow to utilize the talent. And we know that Barkley is the talent, but we can't seem to get him involved with the game plan. We just run him up the gut. And I'm not here to just rag on Kafka, but I think DeVito started a little slow because they weren't really allowing him to, have any impact plays. What's Mark saying? I think the main thing is that Jones reads from low. That's possible, low to high, more than DeVito reads from high to low. It's very
possible.
possible.
The offensive line at the time, he's afraid, worried about protection.
Yeah, it's very true, Mark. In that he could be where DeVito thinks he can go deep or mid to deep, where Jones thinks he's got to go, shallow to mid. Right? It very well could be. It's a great point. And the game starts off slow. They ran a bunch of screens. They can't get, Barkley was averaging less than 2 yards a carry. So,
well, something, I will say this, Craig. The one thing that's super disappointing with Saquon, and again, Saquon is the talent, don't get me wrong, but I'm so sick of us not having any ability to get those short yardage situations. He is not a short yardage running back. You need somebody that's got a little bit of body work to be able to plow forward. They have to get a running back too that is able to do it. I don't care if it's obvious that guy's going to get the ball. I'd rather a big tank of a running back obviously get that ball then give it to Saquon and try to make something happen. The shiftiness at the goal line, that is not the type of running back that you want there for the short yardage.
Yeah. Even when it's 4th down, 4th and 1, Dable like, go for it. What the heck? And Kafka calls a stretch play. I mean, we run outside and lose a yard, and I'm like, who does that?
It's not our special
yard.
No. When Saquon's going against that type of a defense that's bunched up, I mean, forget about it. It's not. They're all there. When the offense is more spread out, because it's 1st and 10 for whatever, then that's Saquon's bread and butter because everybody's spread out. He can break some ankles, but short yardage, it's not the right defense to do it against.
In fact, Truth, watch how that game unfolds. Right? They can't get out of their own way, and Kafka's calling all these screens and check downs, or guys aren't getting open. Right? And what happens when all of a sudden Wan'Dale gets a pass? All of a sudden, Slayton gets a hit on the sideline. All of a sudden, Bellinger catches a ball in the flat. Next thing you know, Saquon's ripping off some yardage because he's opening it up. I mean, it's almost like they don't understand their own team. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on, 4th and 1, you run a stretch play, ain't gonna happen. We're not getting any push on the outside. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times Ben Bredesen misses a block. Like, when you're 300 pounds, how do you miss a dude? Just run into him.
Well, that's another issue, right? I mean, our running offensive line development's been piss poor.
And that will be addressed in the offseason. I don't think Bredesen is going to be part of the starting lineman. But, another thing with Saquon, I want to see him get more involved in passing as well.
Yeah.
Because that makes him such a lethal weapon. He's a top-tier running back in running, but when you add that element in the passing game, it just puts him in the elite status, I think. So
here's what's unique about that, Mike, is I'm looking at the snap count. Bredesen, Schmidt, Pugh, Phillips, Thomas, for the 3rd game in a row, have played 100% of the offensive snaps. So you're starting to get some continuity there with these guys, allowing them to do a little bit more. But what kills me, Mike, is that they still come out in slow motion. You're a 4-win team. Like, what do you got to lose? Why are we not running quick slants with Slayton? Why are we not running outside the hash with Hodgins? Why are we not getting Jalen Hyatt in the game? What are we doing? Check down, screens. We haven't been a screen team since Tiki Barber.
Yeah, and by the way, I mean, I don't think we have any talent to make the screens happen. The problem is, I mean, and Saquon is a special running back with what he can do. But he does bobble the ball a little bit sometimes when he gets those flat routes, right? And so, it's got to be something they got to keep in mind. And we get off to a very slow start with the screens, and then we don't have the talent to block for him. So just get it out of the playbook. There are some things the Giants can do that are pretty good. By the way, that Wan'Dale play where they handed it off to him, very creative, very creative. Like, that's using your talent wisely. Do more of that.
Let me give a shout out to all you guys that are in the room. I see Juan's in here. I see Joe. I see Mark. Of course, I see Cold, and I see Jay, I see Tudo and Mark. Who else is popping in here? I got some guys still coming in. I can't see. I see Jake is in the room. I see Thomas. I see Tuto. I see Brad's in the room. See, you guys are still piling in. Thanks for hanging out with us. A lot of great things to talk about. So yeah, again, no creativity around Saquon. He's averaging, 2 yards or less a carry. That was really disappointing. Watching the run blocking Truth is just like, what's up, James King? Got to give a pound out to James.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, man? My Bucks County guy. What's up?
Yeah, glad to see James in the room. Truth, let's forget off season right now. I see Glowinski even is getting some activity in some overload opportunities, right? So it looks like they made the right move with Pugh and Bredesen, but they're still not a dominant group, but they're slowly getting better.
Hey, real quick, Craig, yesterday was pretty good. And I'm sorry if that's what you're trying to get to. That I'll let you be.
Well, again, from a pass protection, they did well, but they opened no holes for Saquon.
Which is weird because previously it was like our pass blocking was a disaster and our run blocking was actually.
Yeah, he ended up pretty well. He did pretty well, right, Saquon? Right, he had 86 yards, 20 carries, didn't he?
But he had 2 big runs at the end, right? I mean, I mean, he had no grinding yards. He wasn't popping. In fact, a couple
His
times.
average was higher than his median, if we have to go back to algebraic terms.
Thank you.
Look at Spartan.
And in fact, what drives me crazy is, and I think Spartan alluded to it a second ago, is there were two specific plays where I was like, hello, Saquon, drop your pad level and run that cat over. Like he just doesn't. He's got bigger legs. I would say if I put Earl Campbell in the same room with Saquon, they'd have the same size legs. And this dude runs over nobody.
I mean, goal line, even the one he scored on the goal line, like he was lucky his lower half was in the end zone and his top half was out. You see that? Like the ball was like on the wrong side of the plane technically, but
I know. It's crazy. I see Shawnee B's in the room now too. What's up, Shawnee? So yes, I would like them to take the rest of this year and just find ways to be more creative with Saquon. I'm not a Kafka guy. No one's gonna convince me that and Spartan, you said it a couple times. Hey, you know what? Let him go be successful somewhere else because he's not creating a dynamic offense here.
Who, Kafka?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just one of these things. Like it's not. I mean, especially we'll see what happens. There's a lot that would have to happen. They draft a quarterback this offseason. I want to see somebody else do the development piece. You'll still have Dable there, but I want Dable to be like, all right, who's the guy that's going to give me the results that we got in Buffalo, not this makeshift Kafka story.
So this is what I've been saying all year. This is from Sean. Kafka drives me crazy. It's like he doesn't know how to use the weapons he has. It is literally the perfect comment, and I think Sean and I were talking about that yesterday. It's like he doesn't know how to use the personnel he has. I mean, literally, truth. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Slayton is fast. He can run those quick slants. Hodgins, real good on the outside, right? We've got Wan'Dale, which can run crossing routes and underneath. We got Bellinger in the flat, and we got Hyatt as more of a specialty guy when you need to take the top off. And we don't use anyone the right way. We wait till we get to the end zone and bring Hodgins in. What was Hodgins' snap count? Hodgins was in 20 snaps of 56 plays.
And this is a dude that got us like 8 touchdowns last year. He had a good year.
Thank you. It's almost like they just don't know how to use them.
Could you read the snaps of the wide receivers you have in front of you?
I sure can. Yes, I can. All right. So Slayton, 52 snaps, which is 93% of the plays. Bellinger, 50, which is 89%. Wan'Dale, 44 plays. That's 79%. Hyatt, 36 plays, 64%. Hodgins, 20 snaps, 36%. Cager, 9, which is 16%. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody?
I don't think so.
I think because that's pretty much all of the unless you want to consider Eric Gray. Eric Gray got in one play. No. That's all. That's your basically your wide receiver room. I mean, they're roughly so. I almost feel to Sean's point is like they're all playing like equal amount. Truth. Like, there's no reason why you're like. It's almost. I feel like we're playing town ball, and it's like we don't want to get the moms mad. Let them all have equal playing time.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. I know. Just listen to Craig. I've been saying this, and a lot of people probably disagree with me, but I just see Slayton. I just see he gets a little bit too many snaps in that group, which you just mentioned. I would like to see 52 out of the 56. I think you can knock him down to 40 and give like someone like Hodgins and even what's his name Robinson more snaps. Dude, Robinson played excellent yesterday. I mean, he really was exciting when he got the ball in his hands.
Yeah, so it definitely was me and Shawnee were talking about this because he's the wide receiver rotation makes zero sense. I'm not even sure Dable likes it. Like, yeah, now it's coming back. Me and Sean were talking about this. Like, you got to scratch your head like this. You're like, it doesn't make any sense how Hodgins rides your team into the playoffs with a playoff win, and the kid can't get any targets.
Yep,
I don't get it. But yeah, no doubt. Slayton does cold. Slayton definitely gets way too many snaps. I agree with all you guys. I'm looking through here because I know I missed a couple of your guys' comments back here.
Here's a quick one I just want to get to, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Mark, you have a good point. Like every time I watch a game the Giants win, I go on like the other team's like Twitter, like, all right, what are they complaining about? And man, I looking back, I mean, the Packers defensive like coordinator is supposedly hated by the fans. Like they all want him fired. And there were some things that he was doing. It's like, man, like that's your scheme to draw up against the Giants. We watch the Giants a lot, the three of us, right? I feel like we could kind of come up with a scheme that'll stop the Giants, but that wasn't it for the Packers. All right, go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
No. I actually really like that. I like the fact that you're doing some recon there on the Packers Twitter accounts.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
All right, well, moving a little bit past, the wide receivers because you're right. Wan'Dale balled out. Hodgins making by the way, the throw from DeVito on the run in the corner to Hodgins.
Wow.
He throws a good football, guys. I love that.
That was freaking money.
That was that was one of the best throws like I've seen out of any, Giants quarterback in the last few years. And that's fair to say. There's been plenty of good ones, but like that one had to be so on the money, and it was.
Yeah, he throws a good ball. And as I said, like McFadden's like, hey, look, this kid's got something, an energy, a passion that we all kind of like. And they're having some fun. So,
yeah,
like no one's expectations are through the roof, So it's just nice to see. Because like I said, when he threw that ball to Hodgins, I was like this. That is exactly what we needed. A dynamic play with a quarterback on the run, hitting the kid in the corner. Because we've been jinxed. We haven't had anything like that. Yeah, hell of a throw. All right. So let me ask you guys, let's move on to like Wan'Dale. Truth, give me your thought on how he played. And again, we know he played well, right? We know the fact that I was not a fan of Wan'Dale. I have no problem eating crow about Wan'Dale.
He's giving you crap. Is it crypto?
Yeah.
Crypto
wait a minute, though.
But your space.
Yeah, but Truth, it wasn't about the player. It's where he got picked that bothered me.
And his size.
Well, yeah, the size, but the kid, we knew the kid could catch, right? We knew the kid was fast. But damn, he's like in the second round. But, what are you going to do? He's here now. And he came back from injury. So the kid's got a lot of moxie, right? Worked his way back in. The throw and the route to basically seal the game at the end of the game, Truth. Like,
that was beautiful.
I thought the game was pretty much over when Saquon fumbled it. So what was your thought on Wan'Dale's game yesterday?
Well, like I said before, he was exceptional. I mean, he's clearly the best Giant receiver after the catch. He just goes for positive yardage. When he catches the ball, he's immediately going upfield, and he's so quick. And I mean, a couple of those Spartan pointed out that little jet sweep. That was. I love to see that more. Spartan, you're dead right. I love to see that more. And that throw by DeVito to him that really got the Giants to win the game, got me field goal range. That was a beautiful route, beautiful catch, beautiful run, everything.
The throw was freaking awesome.
Yeah, like a tight spiral is gorgeous. Perfect throw. What can you say?
Yeah.
I mean, perfect execution. They earned that one. They really did.
They did. You know what? That's probably the best thing you could have said all night. They earned that win. At the end of the game, they were doing everything to win that game. It still didn't go their way. And here's what I'll tell you about the overall arching New York Giants. There's no quit. They got some passion. Guys are playing ball, right? And as you just said, Truth, you nailed it. They earned it. They earned that win last night. All right, Spartan, coming to you on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one specific guy who I loved him from day one, and I try not to pump him up too much, but wait, Cold, is there something wrong with my microphone? Maybe it's too loud.
No, it's kind of like on and off, like same as Chris does.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
not all the time, Craig. Just once in a while.
No, I got it. Sometimes this mic, if I'm too close to it, maybe it peaks out. there's one guy in the team, Spartan,
Yeah.
that I'm like really excited about more than anybody. And he did something last night that I haven't seen a Giant player do in a long time. I want to ask you, A, if you know who I'm talking about, and B, if you do, what's the play?
No, I actually don't know either. My guess might be Okereke because the tackling that he's done, but I can't think of like any specific play. So tell
All
me,
right,
Dan,
it's not Okereke.
is it Banks?
It's Banks.
It's Banks. Which one was it? Was it one where they were in the end zone and he doinked it right out of his hands?
Dude, it gave me chills, man, because I was like this. We have not had a corner that'll run down the field with the wide receiver and look back and knock the ball out of his hand. It's so now. I wanted him drafted. I was so excited that he got here. The kid has got so much swag, and I love the fact that he plays like this. I'm no rookie. I got this.
Yep, man. He's not, and he doesn't. He just goes out there and plays good football. Like the only thing on the defensive side of the ball that like I'll complain about it all, and this isn't really Banks. Like the tackling with the secondary is a little weak sometimes. They had a couple plays yesterday, but there's no for right now. I should not be starting off with criticism. Banks is a phenomenal player. He is coming into his own as a rookie, and we love to see it. I mean, we've had so many draft busts and guys that do not pan out when they get drafted by the Giants. That to see him go out there and just kill it like he is, love it, right? So we got that, but really, I mean, Craig, roses to everybody on the defense. I mean, we talk about DeVito and the offense, and we're surprised how things are going. Things are going good there, but things are going great with the defense. Like, I mean, I am in love with what I'm seeing out there. I don't want anybody to leave.
Yeah, and I just started with Banks. Truth, because what? No, what's that?
No, I was like, wait, McKinney, he can go.
Well, yeah, but we'll get to him in a second. I just love the fact that it's a homegrown guy. We drafted this guy. He comes in, he starts right away, and the kid's just like he's fun to listen to. He's just like he's got this like goofy sense of humor.
I haven't heard Banks talk yet.
Oh yeah, he's just silly and funny, and he's like like he's kind of soft spoken, but I don't know, just there's something about him and the way he played. When he knocked that ball out, I was like, that was his defining moment right there. Not getting beat for the game-winning touchdown, not on his watch. I was so pumped up for that. Truth, give me another defensive standout yesterday that opened up your eyes. Maybe someone that you didn't expect big things out of.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of do collectively. We spoke about this off air. I mean, last night was really the most I've seen the Giants gang tackle. They looked like hungry dogs fighting for a bone. When they were tackling, everybody wanted to get involved, and that's what you love to see. You love to see gang tackling, being nasty. Make that offensive guy think about it when he's running down the field. I mean, it does make a difference, guys. When you're hitting people and you got five guys smashing you and knocking you down. And I love seeing that yesterday. They looked like they had to make a statement.
Well, and you know what? To your point, Truth. I mean, there was that one play. I thought it was. I don't remember if it was 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and I think Love took the ball and was running out to the flats to try to get a first, and they stuffed him like in a big game. I loved it. One guy got high, so he couldn't get tackled at the knees and reach over. Other guy got low, and then there was a third guy that got in there. I loved it. That was great football.
So on the defense, Pinnock, McKinney, Banks, Adoree Jackson, Okereke, and Tibbs had one playoff, so let's not count that. So Tibbs, Okereke, Jackson, Banks, McKinney, and Pinnock did not come off the field. Played 100% of the defensive snap.
Wow. That's
amazing. For you said Okereke, he was the only non-secondary player.
Yeah, and then listen. So and then Okereke came out for one play.
Oh. Okay.
And then right behind him, is McFadden. Believe it or not, McFadden and Ojulari. had 50 snaps. So
Nice.
they were only out for 2 series total. Like these guys are like, they're making plays and they're being left on the field because of the plays they're making. So, just all around, like you said, Spartan, our truth, gang tackling. I mean, there was one play where that big ass running back, that big ass
Dylan.
The dude is like a house on wheels.
He might have bigger thighs than Barkley.
Oh
yeah, I mean, that's the kind of back that Spartan was referring to. We need a back that you give him the ball and he blows blows through a hole in the side of the barn kind of guy, which we don't have.
Right.
And that guy was intimidating, and they let him bounce off a couple times to go down, and then scoot down the sideline, and that was it. They shut him down after that, So it was really good to see, a couple of these guys step up. Spartan, what's your thoughts on, pass rush? So the Packers offensive line, I think, is top 5 in sacks not allowed, or whatever you want to say, protection. Like, they give up the 5th, least amount of sacks in the NFL. And the Giants, I think they had one sack. But they had a ton of pressures. They were all over them. I'm looking at the stats now to see how many sacks there were. What's your thought on the overall pressure and what Wink is calling?
Good. And you know what? Because what I'm liking is they'll do some blitzing, but it's not as aggressive as last year, but they're still getting to the quarterback, which shows that the talent itself on the front line is good enough to get to the backfield, right? You got Dex. He's very good on the pass rush. He's not going to get in there and get sacks. He's not that type of an athlete, at least on the frequency basis, right? But he does get back there, and he's a disruption on the offensive line. Phibbs is very good. I mean, he got a sack yesterday. That's 12 on the year. Would love for him to finish. Whoever's, I would love to see him finish with like 14 or more, right? And he's got a very good.
He could do it. He could do it, right?
Pretty much have it in the wheelhouse at this point. Very, very good. Perhaps I would like to see it maybe a little bit more consistent. Like it's not so bad right now. Like, it's a very good pass rush. It's not like an elite pass rush.
You're right, Spartan. You need multiple. Like, they got to get Ojulari going. Hopefully, in the last 3 or 4 games, he can do that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I would love for the Giants. I mean, they're in a position now where it's kind of like where they were in the 2000s. Now they have some other players they got to look for in the draft. But, remember something. The Giants already had good players on defense. They kept drafting other defensive players because you can never have too many pass rushers. The Giants are in a position to do that. I mean, use a pick on an edge. Go for it. Have two great edges. You can't have enough.
You're right.
I think Mark's got a really good point here too. I don't think Adoree Jackson got enough credit either, because Adoree played really well last night, especially in the beginning of the game. They seemed like they were picking on Adoree. They went after him a couple times, and he made some really good plays. So I got to give that might have been Adoree Jackson's best game of the year, or one of 2 of the best games he's had all year. Yeah,
he had a very good year.
I'm looking at the stats. I know it's the day after the game, and I know sometimes a day later they change this stuff, right, on who they give credit to what.
By the way, real quick, that was super funny. I don't know if anyone saw that comment. Injulari, big guy.
Yeah. Well, Cole's always good for a good zinger here or there, right?
We got
to have Cole on for a full episode.
We can bring Cole on for a full episode. All right, so the sacks were 2 sacks. They gave half to Thibodeau and half to McFadden, half to Ojulari, and half to Dexter Lawrence. Now, I don't know if that'll change, but they had 2 sacks from a pretty busy set of guys, right? I mean, and like I said, like Colt, I'm kind of over Ojulari, but the potential's there. He's just hurt all the time.
That's a story of so many Giants players.
I think they're going to get another edge rusher. I don't know if they're going to get rid of Ojulari, but they got to add more depth there, like Spartan said.
Well, I think Ojulari's on a contract year. If not, maybe next year. Next year, maybe he's a contract year. Maybe someone can look that up, or maybe Mark Thompson knows, because he's like an encyclopedia for this stuff.
Yeah.
But like Colt says here, it's true. Like, potential doesn't pay the bills. Like we need an actual edge. Tibbs has come a long way. Spartan, what's your thought on Tibbs, his game?
Excellent. I love his game. I mean, he is constantly getting back there and sacking the quarterback. And, Craig, we talked about it last year. I mean, he was getting pressures. He wasn't getting sacks. And you had a very good point when you said, I don't care about pressures really at all. If you're not getting sacks, you're not executing to the highest level of the game. So in my opinion, seeing him getting back there and getting these sacks is excellent. Do I think he has the impact on the game that Micah Parsons has consistently? No. But guess what? We still have, what might finish out as a top 10 edge season across the league this year. And that's phenomenal because that's a huge turnaround from where he was at last year.
It's only his second year too, right, Spartan?
He's second year, yeah. Yeah, he's having a much more improved year than last year, and I love to see it.
I mean, he's gone from – go ahead. I'm sorry, Craig.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Truth. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to jump on what Spartan said. He's gone from not being a finisher to a finisher now, and it kind of coincide with that Twitter thing going on with Carl Banks and the fan. It Tibbs must have been watching that, and it just drew fire under his butt. And he's got like 8 sacks since then. He's been playing lights out.
And Carl Banks is just sitting there with a little glass of stuff, like, yeah, that's right, WFAN. You should have probably listened to me and not given me so much.
They should listen to him because he knows a lot more than they do.
Exactly. Yeah. He was totally right. Don't joust with Carl Banks. We've said that on the show before. Don't do it.
Yeah. And what's interesting about Tibbs is so it's so interesting because he's gotten so much better week to week, right? I mean, he's definitely developing different types of pass moves. In fact, he's really dominant on the inside where normally edge rushers are outside pass rushers. He's very dominant on either a swim move, or a spin move to the inside, which is really cool. Like almost like Dwight Freeney used to do with the roll, you know what I mean? Or he's very good on the inside, and he's starting to come around with playing the run a little bit better. So to your point, Spartan, his sacks are up. He may end with 13, 14 sacks for the year, which would be great. His tackles are down, but I'll give him credit that he's playing the run better. Yes. I think each week he just is developing more. I think next year, honestly, he has that breakout year. I think next year he's got it all figured out. He knows what he needs to do, what kind of motor he needs to have. And I think next year he's a 15, 16 sack guy, and he's a 40, 50 tackle guy. Because he's getting close to that, right? What's one thing we loved about JPP was he played the run in the pass so well. Where Ojulari's always hurt, I think Tibbs' game is still growing. I think his ceiling's high.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a little bit about the pass rush. Dexter, of course, is Dexter. And by the way, for the record, you guys can vote for the Pro Bowl up to Christmas Day for the Pro Bowl. But here's the thing. I'm sure you guys saw me tweet this out earlier. What a freaking cluster it is, okay? I've gotten 2 DMs from the NFL saying vote for the Pro Bowl. Well, I can't vote for the Pro Bowl unless I have an NFL account and I'm logged in.
Yeah.
Dots. What is that? I mean, if you want votes, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you take the train to work in the morning. I'm on the train. I'm just going to jump online and I'm going to vote. No. Now I've got to find my account. I got to find a password. I got to log in to vote. You're making it hard. And if you make it hard to do here on the phone, people just bounce. They just bounce. So if you want votes, NFL, and stop sending me DMs hey, you're a content creator. Get your people behind voting for the Pro Bowl. Gotts, I'll say it again. You're not making it easy on anybody. So how bad do you want votes?
Right. They're not making it an easy, smooth process for us, which is frustrating, right? It used to just be simple. You go in, you vote, that's it, done. Now it's so much whole crap associated with it.
Let me see what's going on in the chat because I got a bunch of stuff. Shorty says he did a great against the run last night too. Just looking here. Cole was talking about how Ojulari got all bulked up and then he got hurt all the time. just scanning through, see what these guys are talking about. Oh, George is in the room. Hello, George. Good to see you. He says I'm going to put this up here, but it's great. George says he's hoping Aziz stays healthy the next 4 games. So, George, we're all hoping for that too. but the reality is that he's going down next game. Like he's never strung together 4 games in 2 years. I mean, the cat's always hurt, But yes, if Ojulari is healthy, it makes a difference, without a doubt. So, pass rush has gotten better, but we're still ranked, I think, 28th or 27th out of 32 teams. I mean, it's not good. All right, so how about Truth? What'd you think about what Wink called yesterday? What'd you think about the defensive performance in general?
It was fantastic. They executed it. They showed I thought he was aggressive in a lot of times during the game. And the players are now, I guess, they're all in on his game plan, and they're all playing their positions well now. They know what they got to do.
Yep.
To Spartan's point, like there's only one guy in the defense. I think, and listen, I don't know if Nacho stays. I don't know if Robinson stays. He's a little bit long in the tooth. Now, I'm not putting it. Don't be getting all crazy when I say this, but we all know who Dexter Lawrence's best friend is. He could come back next year on a player-friendly deal because he's basically a rental player for Seattle. So we can't rule out that Leonard Williams wants to come back.
What's a friendly player deal to you? What do you think that would be?
Well, that's a good question because
less than $30 million would be acceptable this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I'd have to get into Sports Track and look what the guys are getting paid. But I'm just saying, in general, he may just want to come back, right? Because he likes being here,
Yeah, that's a possibility. Absolutely.
So there's only one guy. I mean, McFadden's under contract. You got Dexter's under contract and Tibbs and there's only one guy that sticks out. I mean, yes, Adori's probably going to have to be looked at. But there's one guy, Spartan. You mentioned him before. Tell me if that guy's coming back or not.
McKinney?
Yep.
Look, this team's kind of grown together. It's gotten better together. They've improved. I don't think McKinney's really part of that package. He's like the one guy that didn't really quite do what other players have and stepped it up completely. I'm not finding that his game is totally worth it at this point, and he seems replaceable.
What kills me, Spartan, about McKinney is I almost feel like, Wink and Dable are having a riff or not having a riff. We know the reports came out that those conversations were all a bunch of BS. So, and again, it's hard to know, but right when that went down, all of a sudden McKinney started playing because I think it felt like his agent was like,
hello.
Hey,
hello, you're not good enough to just say whatever you want. Hello, I have to get paid.
Take it a step further, the agent's knocking on McKinney's door saying, if you want to get paid, you got to do something. And then the last couple games, he's been balling out. I mean, I'm very confident.
Hey, Craig, I don't want a guy balling out on contract year. I want to see a guy that's been balling out the entire way through.
So we're comfortable with Pinnock, Belton, and what do you call it? Who's the guy?
What?
Who got hit? The guy who got hit with the ball last night. McCain, Cloud.
McCain. A lot of successful defense is really about the positioning of these players. And I do actually feel like, this secondary is very well improved. And I think that our coaching staff on defense knows how to develop secondary players. So, I'm comfortable with them making a move to move on and add another player that, costs between $5 and $9 million if possible. And go that route. McKinney's just not worth it. He's going to try to command too much money. He's going to go to the Commanders. He's going to get overpaid, and that's the end of history. A little aggressive there at the end of history, but you get the gist.
Yeah. So nobody really wants that defense to change. You just want to add a couple pieces to it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room that just broke everybody's back last night. Saquon ripping down the sidelines, gets tackled, fumbles the ball. Everyone's like, he's down, he's not down. And then 58 yards later, the Packers have the ball.
Craig, you saw this live, right? You were at the game.
No, you know what? Okay. That's interesting you say that.
Oh,
so remember, were you on when we had Dr. Hedgepeth on, the spine guy?
Yeah.
So Doc reached out to me and asked me if he could take his kid to the game. I gave him my seats so Dr. Hedgepeth could take his son to the game. So I got to watch it from the comfort of my living room.
Wow. Okay. All right. Fair enough. And you know what? I will say this. I was fed up with the fans that gave tickets to, and you gave them to Giants fans. So thank you for doing what you did. I don't ever blame fans for selling tickets. Monday night's inconvenient. Thursday nights are inconvenient. Sometimes, obviously you can't make it sometimes. But there were a lot of Packer fans there last night. I was a little disappointed with that. That's besides your point. I apologize, but you go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering what you thought. Did that break your back? Like, because when he fumbles, I'm like, all right, not a big deal if that's a fumble. But 58 yards later, I was pretty pissed.
Well, I was just sitting there like the Giants had so much control to put another score up and put the game away at like the 4-minute mark, as opposed to having it to go down to a complete heartbreaker at the end, which has been the Giants' football as of late. So I was a little fed up in the fact that Saquon fumbled the ball, and even if it wasn't technically a fumble, you go back and forth. Dude, hold on to the freaking football. There was nobody around you. It was entirely on you. You let the ground hit the ball out of your arms. Then, to your point, what pissed me off more than the fumble, because it happens, he doesn't fumble very frequently, nobody trying to tackle him. That's poor leadership.
The dude was like this. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He was running back and forth like it was Madden.
Nobody tackled the dude. And I'm like, I can't believe they're going to lose this game, because as much as the Giants are not a juggernaut in any form or fashion, they played enough to win that game. And with them letting that go at the end, I was like, you got to be kidding me. We are first.
By the way, you guys, and I know you guys don't sports bet, but if you looked at DraftKings, it went from like Packers plus 490, meaning if you bet $100, you get 500 bet, 490 back, to Packers minus 135 very quickly, which is you bet 100, you only get like 65 back, right? Very quick. And this flip of a dime, that play changes the entire course of the game. Fortunately, the Giants got out of it.
Yes.
And I will say thank you to the Packers defensive strategy there on the final drive. I don't know what in the world, that two large plays in a row. Good on the Giants offense.
All right. Truth. Earlier in the show, or actually before we turned the mic on, Spartan and I were talking about something, and my man Brad just brought it up. And I got to ask you something here. You know, when you're a little kid, you play special teams because we don't know what we're doing. Every special teams coach will teach you two specific rules. When we played is one, when you kick the ball off, the ball is live. Go get the ball is live. Well, now the rules have changed that you can call a fair catch on a kickoff. A lot of folks don't know that, but in 2023, you can fair catch a kickoff. Okay? So that whole ball being live thing, he only needs to catch it and then wave your hand. The second rule of special teams that every special teams has taught you since you were in the 5th grade is get the freak out of the way. Okay? They have a call, so poison, they'll call it venom, they'll say bomb, they have the keywords. That's basically
red. They start screaming something like that.
Yep, and that means get the F out of the way. As much as we've said this earlier before we turned the mic on, Thomas McGahee must have dirty photos on John Mara to continue to have this job, because the guy's units make mistakes that some of our kids don't make. We had Cager get hit on the sidelines instead of the ball going out of bounds, Truth, and getting a penalty, right, on the kick. Nope, we get the ball down right there because it hits Cager in the leg. Like, what is he thinking? The ball's going out of bounds. You have no reason to be in front of that ball. And then I don't know if it was McCain or McLeod. I can't remember which one it was.
McLean.
He gets hit with the ball. I mean, it comes right down and hits him. And you think, don't they have a call? You put it in, like, again, red, poison, like anything, just to get away from the ball. How in the world does a guy keep his job, Truth, when his own team doesn't understand the principles of covering a kick?
Look, NFL's a hard, the best league in the world, right? But those two things you just talked about, I don't think I've seen. I coach football, young kids. I don't think I've ever seen my kids do that. They pick the ball up when someone kicks it in the air. They look, they know where it is. You don't see them stand there and it falls right on them like it happened to McLean. So
right,
it looked amateurish. It looked like they were like pee-wee football. It really did. It really did.
I mean, Truth, Cager was covering a kick of a ball that was going out of bounds. Going out of bounds.
He obviously doesn't know the rules. He doesn't know the rules.
Right.
You're
exactly.
teaching men 22 to 25 how to play special teams. And in one game, 2 balls hit his players.
They're lucky they won that game because of those 2 plays. I mean, any decent team could have scored on those plays. When they got that possession.
Yes. Hey, Craig, I gotta roll right after this question. I apologize.
Yep. No, it's okay. How does Thomas McGahee keep a job? What sense does it make when every week he proves that his unit can't do the job?
John Mara, McGahee's been on the team a lot longer than since he became a special teams coach. Like he has that role because of like pure nepotism. He's been a part of the organization for a while. And even though he's in a position where he's impacting the quality of the game and how the Giants are performing, he's got his job. It's unfortunate that Mara views that as a job that you can just willy-nilly give to somebody to just hold on to. Because let's be honest, he's never been good at it. But anyway, Craig, Mike, appreciate your time, guys. I got to roll.
All right. You're out, Spartan. We'll see you. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Yes. Sounds good.